we'll be looking at reproduction in living organisms. In today's class, we are going to be talking about types of reproduction. We're going to be looking at examples of these organisms that carry out different types of reproduction. We're going to look at also a very special kind of reproduction that take place in plants. That's why I want to encourage you to stay by and watch to the end. So today, like I said, we're talking about reproduction. What is reproduction? Reproduction simply means reproduction is the ability of organisms to produce and of offspring. That's what reproduction is all about. So the ability of an organism to produce an offspring is what we know as what? Reproduction. Now, what is the major reason of this reproduction? The major reason of reproduction is just for the organism to retain its existence. Another reason for reproduction is also to adapt, to be able to adapt to the environment where they find themselves, because through reproduction they tend to just like, for example, in sexual reproduction, where there's a kind of improved in vigo because of transfer of genetic makeup. So now we're going to be talking about types of reproduction. Like I already told, I said something about asexual reproduction. Now we have two types. We have asexual reproduction, and also we have sexual reproduction. These are the two types of reproduction: asexual and sexual reproduction. Now, let's start by talking about this asexual reproduction. In asexual reproduction, there is no fission of gametes. That means a single parent can decide, maybe when the single parent has getting to a certain age, to just divide itself turn to two daughter cells. This is very common in organisms like Amoeba. Amoeba. And also we have something like Paramecium. I don't know what's wrong with my drunkers. Paramecium is a good example of that. This microorganism, this unicellular organism is very, very easy in unicellular organisms because of the single cell structure of their organism, since of their body. It makes asexual reproduction very, very easy with them there. So now this other one, like I said, they split, divide, and then turn into daughter cells. There are other examples. We have so many examples of sexual reproduction. We have the one we have binary fission. We have binary fission. We also have budding. We also have a spore formation. We also have the one we call fragmentation. Fragmentation. Oh, that's why this one. Okay, I think this one might be better. So we have fragmentation. So let's just quickly talk about these few ones are listed out. In binary fission, thus fission means just to split. In binary fission, organism will just split into two and then form daughter cell, or many fashion. Maybe it can be 4 or 5, as again the case may be. So the fact is, remember that there is a splitting in the in this process of asexual reproduction. So there's always a split in the split, and then produce an offsprings. So in this case, example of organism that where you can see this, like I said earlier, I said something about Amoeba. We have Amoeba, and also we have a Paramecium. That's example of organism where you can see this one. So in this other one, body, in this body is that organism can just develop a kind of, there will be a kind of protrusion around their body. From there, it's developed into, it breaks up from the parent cell or organism, then forming another offspring. So, for example, where we can see, just like what we have in Hydra, we have something like that in Hydra. For example, let me just give you a drawing of that. I believe the drawing can make it easier. For example, this is a Hydra, and a little sketch of it. The Hydra will just develop another Hydra body from it. After some time, this will grow and then cut out from here, and then start its own life. Another place you can see that, I said Hydra, talk about Hydra, and then another place you can see something like that is in yeast. These are the two organisms where you can see this kind of body. Now, talk about spore formation. This is what you see in Rhizopus. In Rhizopus, you see this so much where the organism will develop sporangium. So as they grow like this, find out inside there they will have some spores. After some time, this will burst open. The spores will then go and germinate some other places. This type of asexual reproduction is what we call spore formation. So the other one I want us to look at is like this: formation. So the other one we have here is fragmentation. We talk about fragmentation. In fragmentation, what do we have there? Is something that we have in the type of asexual reproduction we see in Spirogyra. This Spirogyra. Talk about Spirogyra. In Spirogyra, Spirogyra. So in Spirogyra, what we have in Spirogyra is that as they grow, they fragment, because each of the cells will tend to be, they will split. They just fragment and then develop into a new daughter cells. So now we are going down to the one we talk about, the second type of reproduction, which is sexual reproduction. Sexual reproduction. In sexual reproduction, what happens here is that there's always a fission of gametes. The male and female gametes will mix in order to form a zygote, which develop into an offspring, or maybe we talk about their like. So under this is common in what? Animals. You see it in animals, also you see also in plants. In plants, in the case of plants, they have an organ of asexual reproduction. Reproductive organ is what? Flower. We have the flower. In animals, they normally have male and female separate. So in flower, in most cases, they have also their organ of reproduction, like I said, is the flower. This flower has the pollen grains, and then they also have stigma, which connects to the ovary. and which is the what? The female reproductive organ, while the pollen grain and the anther there plays a very important role in the male. In our plants, we have another this we have a kind of reproduction we call vegetative reproduction. Vegetative reproduction is a kind of asexual reproduction actually, because it has to do with there is no fission of gametes. So in this type of reproduction, what happens? We have two types of vegetative reproduction in plants. One of them is natural vegetative reproduction and artificial vegetative reproduction. Under this natural reproductive vegetative reproduction, we have one of the types is what? The bulbs. This example of reproduction that we see in onion is a good example of plant that exhibit this is what? Onion. And we have another one, sucker. The sucker, this is the type that when they grow some is somewhat type of underground that underground suckers that they use to develop into a new plant. So this can be seen in something like plantain and banana. And we have a corm, which we see in cocoyam. That's where we see this type of um, natural vegetative product. There are so many of them, but this is just the few I want to talk about. So going over to the artificial um, vegetative reproduction, we have the budding. This type is where you cut out a bud from another plant and insert it in a new plant so that it grows from there. So that's one of them. This other one we'll talk about cutting, where you cut the sort of like in ornamental planting. Some you can see that we use some flower cuttings to get a full plant. So this is a good example of that artificial vegetative reproduction. We have the laying type where you lay the plant, you get the part of the plant and put it in the soil and lay it. I'll cover here with soil. After a while, the new plants will root, will germinate, will develop here and we'll cut it off. Then we'll have a new plant. Is another type. This is grafting. In grafting, the method of grafting, what we do here is that we get another plant and insert it in a new one. This is another project, another one, insert it here and allow you to go. So this is a good example of that. So thank you so much for being part of this class. I hope the video has really impacted in your studies, and we want to encourage you to subscribe. And if you have any question, you can leave it in the comment section. We can always attend to you. Thank you so much.